Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester. And I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting the lives that we choose. Nonetheless, let's get right into it. What I want to discuss today is going to be a really quick one, right? I'm watching this little cat walk around in the backyard and he's scratching for fleas and all that. I'm gonna stop watching him, but he doesn't see me yet. Surprisingly, cats are usually pretty keen. Nonetheless, um, what I want to discuss today is how you are manifesting and like a really big tip that I use and to manifest that works really, really well, especially as it relates to how I want to be received in different environments, right? So if I'm trying to work on, okay, say a new position or I'm wanting to build up my confidence about something, or I'm wanting to see myself successful completing something. A very common thing that I do is imagine the conversations that are being had about me while I'm not there. And I make those conversations amazing, right? So I think about like, okay, so if I went to a job interview and there are like five people who are interviewing me, I think about what they say when I leave the room, right? And I make it all positive. And I may give one person like a reserved personality, which makes it easy, which makes it the task of the others in the room to say even more positive things about you to flip that person to the other side, right? So, funny enough about this little technique, I've been doing this since before I even heard of law of attraction and manifesting and all these sort of things. I used to want things or want to do things or want to date a guy or something like that when I was in school. And I would sit and imagine all of the things that it would be. And I also would imagine how I thought the person was talking about me when I wasn't around. So, a lot of times we imagine the worst conversations when we leave the room. Have you ever tried to imagine the best conversations, right? And especially if you're going for something where, say, you're not completely qualified, that's the funnest ones. I think like there's going to be one guy in the room that's going to be like, yeah, she doesn't have this, she doesn't have that, but she's amazing. She's a wild card. Look what she offers in this area. Look what she offers in that area. Then the other guy's like, yeah, but then what about this? The other guy had that. But nah, I think she has more of an ability to be loved by everyone, to be creative, to be. And these are the conversations. I'm just like, yeah. And then the guy's like really flipping the other one into believing I am the best candidate for this position, which I probably am. But in my head, that is what I am manifesting. That's what I'm picturing, right? Because I think sometimes we spend so much time on ourselves and let me get my mind right. Let me do my mantras. Let me do my affirmations. Let me meditate. And then we don't spend any time thinking about that we can influence the positive attitudes of other people too, right? I remember this prayer I used to have a long time ago. It was always, um, thank you for all the places where my name is being spoken that I don't even know, and where positive things are being added to it, where it's being uplifted and where it's being received in a beautiful way, right? That was just about my name. That's just a prayer I used to say about my name all the time. I was like, when someone brings up my name, let it be a positive conversation. Let it be giving me the benefit of the doubt. Let it be positive. Let it be beautiful. Let it feed into the lifestyle or the life or the mindset that I have or the life that I choose that I'm creating. Let it be something that complements that, right? Um, when you're spending your time on that, you don't have time to spend time on whether or not somebody's saying something you don't like, right? Because I noticed that because that's a common pattern to just think about, so and so doesn't like me. This is what they're probably saying when I'm not around, right? But and now instead of thinking like that, I think like even if so and so is acting like they don't like me or acting funny around me or acting like they're trying to shut down something I'm trying to do or acting like a little hater or something, I just say to myself, what they're probably thinking of me in their head is probably really positive things, but they don't just have the ability to feel good about themselves while also saying something great about someone else. You know, some people, the minute they say something good about someone else, it means that anything good about them is negated, which is nonsense. But they've obviously been in an environment where the adults were like, "You're this, you're the one that does this. You're the pretty one. You're the smart one. And when people grow up in environments like that, they have a hard time believing that um, people are saying good things about them, or they have a hard time believing that they're not being spoke about negatively, or they're not being hated on, or something like that. You spend too much time and energy in that place when you come up with that mindset. So if you didn't notice you have it, you got to start shaking it off. And then the best part to me is the whole beauty in other people's interactions, right? And then when you see them in person, you'll probably get the same reaction, because I think that we don't understand how powerful our minds are, especially when we have a goal, or we have a plan, or we have this fresh positive energy, right? If someone else is on the energy level like all the way down here, and our energy is way up here, and it's pertaining to a positive outcome about getting something, guess who's going to get the outcome, right? It's going to be the person with the most energy to make it happen. What's on the other side is the person that's kind of just taking the default of society, the reaction of society, the what everybody else don't want. Well, here you can have this, right? So you just have to keep that in mind, that you got to believe that people are saying good things about you when you're not around, that people are lifting up your name, that people are sharing your information when it comes to something that is available or to create, right? That people are not trying to hold you back, that people are saying the best things about you when you leave the room. And even if these things are not true, or you're not even sure they're true, if it's what you want, that's what you need to start manifesting. That's what you need to start imagining and meditating on. Like, what do I want people to say about me when I am not in the room? I want them to say, wow, she's a fun person to work with. I love how creative she is. I love how easy she takes feedback and then applies it and improves the project. I love how she's always looking for input from others with anything that she creates. I love that she comes to work, and she has all these great ideas that she wants to use in order to improve the environment. I love her attitude. I love how she's a can do kind of person. See, I'll run through that, and then that's also positive affirmation for me, but also it's also positive affirmation for others, because I'm not in their heads. I don't know what they're doing. It's not my business. But if I'm going to imagine anything, I'm going to imagine beautiful things, right? So you got a new position you're going for. You got a new job, a new client, or new something, whatever. And you have a meeting with them, and then you walk away immediately. Don't think about, oh, what I said wrong, what I should have said, what I didn't say, what I almost said, what I didn't say. What you're going to think is, people are going to go, wow. They're going to go, this is amazing. They're going to go, she had everything together. He was right on time. He was speaking the right words. He was saying the right things. He was bringing positive energy to the room. This is what people are going to be saying about you when you leave the room. And this is what you need to believe and imagine and meditate on people saying about you. And the more you do that, the more first you see other people in a much more positive light. And you can take people out of categories of hating on you or out to get you personally. And you can put them in a category of, you're my fan too, right? You're one of my fans too. Even if I don't know if you are, and I don't think you are, in my head, you're one of my number one fans. And that's just what it is. So you can't change that. I am whatever I am in your head, and you are whatever I want you to be in my head. And in my head, you're not a hater. You're supportive, and you're telling me all the amazing and wonderful things that I want and need to hear in order to keep on carrying out my duties on this planet and creating the life that I choose, right? So just keep that in mind. You can create that mindset for yourself, to where when you do walk away and you go to places, you're not always automatically thinking that you said the wrong thing, you did the wrong thing. You're picturing in your head that, yeah, she stumbled on her words, but I knew exactly what she meant. Yeah, she wasn't exactly on target with that, but I know exactly where her heart was, right? That's what I'm going to tell myself when I leave the room. That's what I do tell myself. And some people who are negative leaning has will call methods like these delusional, but it's not, because what's delusional is to walk around and believe that everybody is out to get you, and that your presence and your position and purpose is so important in life that people have time to sit around and say that they don't want you to be successful, and that those people, even if they are doing that, they deserve your full attention. That's delusional. That's delusional. To me, what makes perfect sense, what's intellectually sound, is to make sure that I'm giving myself the best information to have the most positive outcomes. And so that best information is I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't even know what they feel about me. But until I do, until I know, I'm going to believe it to be a really specific way. She's amazing. She's so thoughtful. She has such good attention to detail. I love her ideas. I want to see her do even more things to impact the environment in even more amazing ways, right? That's what you're going to believe and you're going to picture people saying. So that's a manifesting hack that I've been using before I even knew what manifesting was. I was always a kid. I was writing poetry. And in my head, I would always picture how people would react to it and say, "You're amazing. You're so great." And then I had a lot of family members who would do that when I was younger and I used to read poetry. And I would have this idea of how I would be received. And it wasn't always the case, but it kept me and my mind in the right place. I did the same thing teaching subjects I've never taught before. I'd walk in the classroom and my mindset would be like, they're going to say, "She's amazing. She's great. And even if I had classes where it didn't turn out that way, at least I wasn't all in my head about negative things before it started. And my positive attitude made even the mistakes have a positive outcome. And then there's a level of humility in that people enjoy because they can see that you are not taking yourself overly seriously and that you are just going to be as prepared as you can, but also leave room for fun and know that making mistakes and things that are not going to be perfect are perfectly okay. You know what I mean? So picture those conversations when you leave the room. Picture those conversations that are being had for something that you're working on that you don't even know are being had about you, because they are. And if nobody else is putting energy towards what those conversations should look like, your positive energy, your focus on it is what's going to really turn the tide. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.